Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
Even as Operation Vijay entered its second week, Moscow was the first to support India's action. The United Nations ruled out the possibility of sending a special envoy to India and Pakistan. In the US, the State Department denying Pakistan's claim to the contrary were quoted as saying, "To our knowledge, India has not struck over the line of control either deliberately or accidentally." In Delhi, Defence Minister George Fernandez briefed leaders of the opposition and the allies, gaining their support for the government's course of action. In the arena of operations, consistent Pakistani shelling had reduced Dras to a ghost town as only 52 civilians remained. The only hospital had been destroyed and the doctors had moved to Leh. Even before the launch of Operation Vijay, Lieutenant General Kishan Pal had realized that the 3 div of General Budvar would be insufficient to combat the enemy, spread over 196 kilometers along the LC. Budvar had moved his TAC headquarters from Leh to Kargil, deploying the 70 Infantry Brigade under Devinder Singh in Baitalik, while Brigadier Kakkar and his brigade were deployed in Turtuk.
By 16th, 17th, I had made up my mind that it will be the 8th div which will come. General Puri, who was away from his formation for a few days, rejoined them on 16th of May. And in fact, soon after coming, he had volunteered and he had said that this operational task, other side of Zojila, should be given to him. And I had no doubt in my mind that it will be one of my formations, that is the 8th Division, which is a battle-hardened formation, which was there in the valley, would be moved, and that is why I had moved 56th Brigade, which was part of this division. It took a little while. By the time the decision was finalized at various levels, and ultimately by 29th they were in position, and 1st June they had taken operational charge of this sector.
8th Mountain Division, of which I happened to be the General Officer commanding, was tasked to look after the counter-insurgency in northern Kashmir. I had my headquarters at Sharifabad, and my brigades were deployed all over northern Kashmir. Somewhere around 28th of May, I was called up by the corps commander and given the task of restoring the situation in the Dras and the Mashko sectors. And I was to assume control over this area from 1st of June. Well, we moved our headquarters, the tactical headquarters, which comprised a very small staff and myself, and we came to a place called Matya, which is very close to, say, about between Dras and Zojila. And we established our tactical headquarters there.
From Matayan, Puri and his 8th Mountain Division controlled 3 brigades. Amarol's brigade, which was responsible for Dras, including Tululing and Point 5140. 192 Mountain Brigade, commanded by Brigadier Bajwa, which was brought in for the capture of Tiger Hill. And Brigadier Kakkar with the 79 Brigade, which was tasked to contain the enemy in Mashko. Puri's TAC headquarters in Matayan started working immediately under his Colonel GS Colonel Chabewal.
The tactical headquarters really is the hub of all our activity which is happening in the division during the operations. We have our communications with our forward troops on telephones, on radio sets. We are in constant touch with each other. On our maps we know as to where what is happening. We plot the movements of our troops. We know where the enemy is, what his intentions are, what is he intending to do. So really speaking, this place is the nerve center of all activities during the operations. We get information, we issue directions, and based on that, the troops in combat implement those orders, and consequently, operations keep progressing.
The priority of the army was very clearly the eviction of the enemy in Dras. This formidable task was given to General Mohinder Puri.
The task which the corps commander gave me were twofold. Firstly, to evict the Pakistanis from our area and push them back across the line of control. And the second, which was of immediate consequence, was to eliminate all observation over the National Highway 1 Alpha, which passes through Dras coming from the Zojila side. Comes from Zojila, comes to Dras, and then on to Kargil and Leh. So the area which was falling within my area of sector of responsibility was something which I had to clear from the enemy domination. And so we set about our task of the first important feature. If you're in Dras, the first important feature which you see is a place called Tolaling. Now Tolaling is about 4,500 meters, which roughly is about 15,000 feet. And the enemy was sitting there. He had excellent observation over the Dras Valley. And he was in a position to interdict all traffic on the Dras-Kargil road. And this was it was a very important objective for us, because we wanted to clear it and we wanted to take our time to prepare so that we were ensured of 100% success.
This arid mountain had never been heard of before. But in the next few weeks, it was to become a household name in India, its significance being recorded in blood by the brave soldiers of the 2 Rajputana rifles and the 18 Grenadiers. The 18 Grenadiers, or Grinders, were inducted into Dras in the 3rd week of May. Brought out of CI Ops, where they were battling insurgency in the Kashmir Valley, this Polestar battalion prepared to battle wind, rain and snow, climbing a rocky, inhospitable terrain at night to engage an unknown enemy at 15,000 feet.
जो टेरेन था, ये बहुत ही मुश्किल टेरेन था। जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं, बहुत ऊंची ऊंची चोटियां हैं और पथरीली चोटियां हैं, और तकरीबन जो हाइट है वो तकरीबन 15,000 और 16,000 फीट की ऊंचाई पर ये चोटियां हैं। और जैसे कि आप देखेंगे कितने मुश्किल पहाड़ियां और पत्थर हैं, जिनके ऊपर बिना रॉक क्लाइंबिंग के चढ़ना काफ़ी मुश्किल है। और ये ऑपरेशन तकरीबन हमने 22 दिन किया। इस ऑपरेशन के दौरान तकरीबन रोज़ाना काफ़ी बारिश, मौसम ख़राब रहता था, भारी बर्फ़ पड़ती रहती थी और टेम्परेचर जो था काफ़ी डाउन था। और शुरू में तो जब हम लोग यहाँ आए, थोड़ा समय कम मिलने की वजह से ट्रुप्स भी पूरी तरह एक्लेमेटाइज नहीं हो पाए थे। लेकिन एक बार जब लड़ाई शुरू हुई तो ट्रुप्स जो है अपने आप एक्लेमेटाइज हो गए हैं।
Having established an administrative base at Bimbat under his adjutant Major Rajiv Kumar, Thakur moved out with his men to surround Tololing. His sister company, the 16 Grenadiers, had been holding observation posts and a firm base 3 kilometers from the top. Thakur met Colonel Thapa and Major Ajit at this base to share whatever little information they had. While the next few days were spent in reconnaissance and planning, the nights were spent in relentless forays up the hill to assess the strength of the enemy. Slowly it was becoming painfully clear to Thakur and his second-in-command, Colonel Vishwanathan, that the briefings they had been given had grossly misjudged the enemy. Those holding the heights were not a few well-armed militants. They were indeed a well-trained army, and an army that was well entrenched not only on the heights, but in all the routes to the top as well. Stone sangars had been built on point 4590 in the Barbad bunker area before the top. They were also entrenched on heights behind the feature, on the hump, in the saddle, and on 5140, the highest point in the area. From here, not only could they target the highway, they could sit back and shoot down at leisure any company that attacked. Thakur first sent one of his bravest officers, Major Rajesh Adhikari, to the headquarters of the 56th Mountain Brigade to engage the enemy from the air in helicopter attacks. On the 24th of May, a Cheetah helicopter mounted with a medium machine gun flew over Tululing but was unable to provide effective fire.
I was flying late, Major Adhikari, for Ranjit operation on Toluling. Now, this was the first kind of we modify our Hepters, fit MMGs to engage, moving enemy in open. So I picked up Rajesh from Dras to engage Pakis over hump area and 5140. We went up to 17,000 feet, the doors were removed. It was minus 15 degrees at 17,000 feet. I told Rajesh Adhikari, we saw about 5 to 6 Pakis moving from 5140 towards hump side. So in that josh, I told Adhikari, shoot them, just kill them. He fired a burst of about 10 to 15 rounds and the MMG stopped. I kept telling him, kill them, shoot them. I started descending towards the enemy. But Rajesh Adhikari told me, sir, my hands are frozen. I can't operate this trigger anymore. Now, it is sad to say the next day or I think day after that, Rajesh left us in an attack, and I feel great to have Rajesh on board and did that mission over Toluling.
On the 26th of May, Major Adhikari guided a Mi-17 helicopter over Tululing, only to discover that the enemy had built sangars on the reverse slopes of the hill as well as on the top. When facing aerial fire, they would slip into the sangars on the reverse slope, which were effectively protected from air assaults. And when on the 28th of May, a Mi-17 was brought down by an enemy surface-to-air Stinger missile fired from point 5140, the chopper assaults were stopped. With insufficient artillery support at this stage, Thakur realized the impossible position he was in. Born in this battalion in 1976 as a young second lieutenant, Colonel Kushal Thakur had grown up to be its commanding officer. The men he was leading had known him for 23 long years. They had grown to love him, respect him and admire him. They had worked together, played together, grown as a family. And now, with all odds against them, Thakur had to motivate these men to fight, to kill, to die for their country, their army, for their culture.
लड़ाई शुरू होने से पहले मैंने अपने जवानों को सिर्फ 3 बातें बताई। सबसे पहली कि बड़े सौभाग्य की बात है कि हमें लड़ाई के मैदान में उतरने का मौका मिला है और हर एक सिपाही की ज़िंदगी में ये सबसे बड़ा सपना होता है जो कि आज पूरा हुआ है। दूसरी बात, लड़ाई के मैदान में मैं तुम्हारे साथ सबसे आगे आऊँगा बिना हथियार के, और मेरे पास सिर्फ ये वॉकिंग स्टिक रहेगी, और तुम्हें मैं ऐसे खतरे में नहीं डालूंगा जिसे मैं खुद नहीं कर सकता हूँ। और आखिरी बात, मैंने उन्हें कहा, इस पूरे ऑपरेशन में हमारा नारा रहेगा विजय या वीर गति। या तो हम विजय हासिल करेंगे या वीर गति को प्राप्त होंगे।
In the next few days, they would stare death in the face, remain without food and water, shed their blood, but return with their heads held high. Major Rajesh Adhikari, Captain Nimbalkar, and Lieutenant Balwan planned their final assault. Even as Adhikari was leaving, he received a letter from home which had been sent up with supplies from the base. Instead of reading the letter, Adhikari stuffed it into his pocket and prepared to leave. When asked to read his letter before he went up, Adhikari retorted, "The letter is from Kiran, my wife. I know what will be written. The 7th of June is my first wedding anniversary and she wants me to spend it with her. Now how do I explain to her that I can't get leave? Time is running out. I'll read the letter when I get to the top. The suspense will keep me going." For 48 hours, Adhikari and his brave men fought their way up inch by perilous inch, attacking the enemy in two columns. Adhikari reached nearly 30 yards from the Barbad bunker when the enemy opened fire from two mutually supported UMGs.
मेजर राजेश अधिकारी एक बहुत ही बहादुर ऑफिसर और उससे बढ़कर एक निहायत ही अच्छे इंसान थे। ये मैकेनाइज्ड इन्फेंट्री के ऑफिसर्स थे जो मेरे साथ 1 साल की अटैचमेंट में मेरे साथ थे और ये अटैचमेंट 24 जून को ख़त्म होने वाली थी, जबकि ये बीच में लड़ाई चल पड़ी। ये बात है 28-29 मई की। और सबसे बड़ी बात जो इनमें मैंने देखी, वो कोई भी काम मैंने दिया, इन्होंने हमेशा इस काम के लिए वॉलंटियर किया, अपने आप सबसे आगे किया। जब इनको मैंने ये टास्क दिया कि आप तोलोलिंग पे कब्जा करोगे, हमला करेंगे, ये खुद कंपनी के सबसे आगे थे। और हमले में जब तकरीबन बर्बाद बंकर के पास बिल्कुल पहुंचने वाले थे, आखिरी बंकर था, उससे पहले इन्होंने बाकी बंकर कब्जे में कर लिए थे। इनको गोली लग गई वहाँ पे और ये घायल हो गए और मेरा इनसे रेडियो सेट पे मिलाप टूट गया। और जो इनका रेडियो ऑपरेटर था लांस नायक राजेंद्र, वो मेरे साथ रेडियो सेट पे आया कि साहब को गोली लग चुकी है और काफ़ी गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं और बहुत इतना फायर है कि हम बाएं या दाएं या किसी भी तरफ मुड़ नहीं सकते। और बल्कि मैं भी उनके पास नहीं जा सकता, क्योंकि मैं हर बार उनको कह रहा था मेरी उनसे बात कराइए। तो कह रहा साहब कि हम जहाँ पे भी पिन डाउन हुए वहाँ से हम निकल नहीं सकते हैं। और बड़ी अजीबोगरीब बात एक बार फिर हुई कि जब वो ऑपरेटर मेरे से बात कर रहा था और बात करते करते वो बहुत जोर से चलाया, क्योंकि उसे भी मेरे से बात करते करते गोली लग गई और वहीं दम तोड़ गया।
Adhikari never made it back for his first wedding anniversary. When the body was finally recovered on the 13th of June, Kiran's letter was found in Rajesh's pocket, still unopened. This brave officer was awarded a Mahavir Chakra by a grateful nation. In the next few days after Rajesh's death, the grenadiers consolidated their position on the hill. They built up stocks of ammunition while Thakur and Vishwanathan built up their morale. Under constant threat of sniper attacks and enemy shelling, these soldiers lived in the open, crouched behind rocks. Tea was a luxury. Food would take 24 hours to reach them and would be barely edible. While holding positions on the hill, they received letters from home, sent messages back through the base. Some, like Vishwanathan, even found time for a little prayer.
जो कर्नल विश्वनाथन साहब आज हमारे बीच नहीं हैं और वो एक देवता इंसान थे और पूजा पाठ में, भक्ति में उनका बहुत ज़्यादा मन लग गया था। तो वो लास्ट टाइम में भी नीचे से बोले, हवलदार लीलाराम आप मेरे लिए थोड़ा अगरबत्ती वगैरह भेजना, ऊपर मैं थोड़ा धूप बत्ती करूँगा। तो मैंने उनके लिए नीचे से प्रोवाइड की और ऊपर भिजवाई।
On the 2nd of June, another plan was formulated to launch an assault on Point 4590 and the Tuloling Top from the southern approach. Massive covering fire was to be given from the southeastern and southwestern spurs. Heavy artillery fire commenced from 8:30 p.m. that evening and continued till midnight in an attempt to soften up the enemy. What was remarkable about this assault that it was not led by a company commander, but by the commanding officer, Colonel Kushal Thakur, and his second-in-command, Lieutenant Colonel Ramakrishnan Vishwanathan. Earlier that day, Vishwanathan had requested his CO to let him lead the assault. As per convention, a commanding officer should always remain 2 companies behind an assault. Thakur had refused, saying, How can I send my men into this kind of danger unless I'm willing to lead them there myself? The assault started at 1 a.m. By 2 a.m., Vishwanathan had blown up 2 enemy Sangars in his charge to the top. Thakur, codenamed Akbar, lost his radio operator and was attempting to reach Vishwanathan, codenamed Kerala, on his radio set. Vishu's radio operator informed Thakur that the 2IC was attempting to blow up the 3rd enemy position and was at present engaged in a hand-to-hand combat with the enemy. This brave Lieutenant Colonel destroyed 3 enemy Sangars, killed 4 of the enemy in close combat, finally succumbed to his injuries, winning a posthumous Veer Chakra, becoming the senior most officer to die in the Kargil conflict.
लड़ाई में काफ़ी सारे नाजुक मोड़ आते हैं। ऐसा लगता है शायद ज़िंदगी आपका इम्तिहान ले रही हो। ये घटना जो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ रात 2 और 3 जून की, प्रभात बंकर से दूरी हमारी तकरीबन 30 गज और पूरे देश की निगाहें थी तोलोलिंग के ऊपर, और हमने तकरीबन 4 हमले कर चुके थे, लेकिन पूर्ण सफलता तोलोलिंग पे प्राप्त नहीं हो रही थी। जब हम वहाँ पे 20-22 दिन तक ये हमला करते रहे रात दिन, और आखिर में मेरे दोस्त, मेरे सेकंड इन कमांड, जो मेरे छोटे भाई से भी बढ़ के मुझसे अजीज़ थे, कर्नल विश्वनाथन और मैंने खुद, दोनों ने फैसला किया कि प्रभात बंकर और तोलोलिंग के लिए हम खुद हमले में जाएंगे, क्योंकि पूरे देश की निगाहें थी कि कब तोलोलिंग को कब्जे में लिया जाएगा। रात को तकरीबन 1 बजे जब हमने हमला शुरू किया, जब हम तकरीबन आधा रास्ता पार कर ही पाए थे, और इस हमले में कर्नल विश्वनाथ सबसे आगे थे, लीड कर रहे थे, हम सब के ऊपर बहुत भारी तादाद में दुश्मन का फायर आया और हम वहीं पे पिन डाउन हो गए। ये टाइम था जब हमारा भी उनके ऊपर काफ़ी फायर हो रहा था। कर्नल विश्वनाथ ने आगे से मुझे कहा कि सर अपना फायर बंद करवाइए। बड़ा अजीबो गरीब इत्तेफाक है, जब मैं सेट से बात कर रहा था तो सेट थोड़ा मैंने आगे खींचा, जब क्रॉल कर रहा था तो मैंने देखा मेरा ऑपरेटर लांस हवलदार राम कुमार शहीद हो चुका है। सूबेदार रणधीर जो मेरे से थोड़ा आगे थे, मैंने उनको आवाज़ लगाई, जो साथ में लड़का था वो कहता है साहब भी शहीद हो चुके हैं। इसी दौरान जो ऑपरेटर था टवाइसी साहब का, विश्वनाथन साहब का, उन्होंने मेरे को आवाज़ लगाई कि साहब टवाइसी साहब की गोली लग चुकी है और बहुत भारी फायर है, और फिर भी साहब बड़ी बहादुरी से फायर करते जा रहे हैं। तो मैंने एकदम कहा कि इनको पीछे खींचिए, इनको सेफ जगह पे लाइए। 2-3 लड़के लेके मैं खुद आगे जाके उनको पीछे लाया। बर्फ़ थी, मौसम बहुत ख़राब था, वो ठीक थे, बातचीत कर रहे थे। मैंने कहा विश्वनाथ कोई बात नहीं, आप ठीक हो जाओगे। फायर के बीच में हम उनको नीचे लाए। नीचे तकरीबन लाने में आधा-पौना घंटा हमको लगा। उनकी हमने फर्स्ट एड की। शायद भाग्य की विडंबना थी, ये होना तय था। वो मेरे गोद में थे, मैंने उनको काफ़ी उनके हाथ को गर्म करने की कोशिश की, उनके पाँव को गर्म करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन वो मेरे गोद में आखिरी दम तोड़ गए। ये वो घटना है जिस घटना को हम सब 18 ग्रेनेडियर्स के परिवार में जिंदगी भर नहीं भुला सकते।
भुला नहीं सकते वतन पे ये एहसास, सुनी कलाई सुनी बाहें आंगन है वीरा, तू है दोस्त हमको याद रहेगा, भारत को हमेशा तुझ पर नाज रहे।
rang up the CO sometimes in the afternoon and offered my condolences and told him how sorry I was that Vishy was no more. And since they had also lost a very brave officer about 2 days before that, Rajesh Adhikari. So I told him that, look, you're the commanding officer, and at this time the whole battalion is looking up to you. So get a hold of yourself, get a hold of your battalion, and be ready for the next task.